And now, an unsigned artist reveal worldwide spotlight. Contemporary jazz R&B vocalist Kat Hawley, the beautiful crooner of sweet melodies, takes us on a journey of ultimate serenade of love. The LA creative released her debut single, Keep On Keepin' on the MBF Entertainment label, featuring saxman Steve Cole in 2023. Howley has performed on stages with notable artists such as Dave Koz, husband Adam Hawley, Julian Vaughn, and the list goes on. Hawley graciously visits the Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide Studios to chat about her music journey, and will delve into her sophomore release, Never Too Busy. Join the conversation now. Hey everybody, happy Monday, happy Music Monday. So glad you guys are here. Finally, we're up and running. Can you know, it's amazing. Kat and I were just chatting about faux pas, right? And then all of a sudden, my lighting just started looking really weird at the end, but I got it all right. Hey, everybody. So glad you're coming in. Listen, I see you in the chat. I see you're coming in. Numbers are moving up. So great to have you join the conversation on tonight. It is just a pleasure every Monday having you guys here in the New York studio, and having you guys in the chat asking questions and supporting the indie artists that come to this platform. Not only indie, but also unsigned artists. But we are happy that you are here. Listen, share, invite, let everybody know Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide is now live. And our special guest is here. Let's bring her on. She's already smiling. So since she's smiling, we may as well let you guys see the smile. Kat, hello. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me tonight.
It is such a pleasure to have you on. And as always, back of house, we were chatting and having conversation. I said, you know what? Let me let's put this on the air. I don't want anybody to miss any of this conversation. So she is such a joy and so bubbly and
Thank
such a
you.
sweetheart. Angelic is what
Thank
she is.
you.
So
Thank you so much.
thank you for coming. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. And so the husband was setting up. I was sitting here. I don't remember what I was doing. I said, "Oh, he's here." He says, "Nah, I'm just engineering. I'm just doing the thing."
Yes,
Just
yes, engineering for me, setting up the iPad and the lighting. Because I'm in our bedroom, like in a corner,
oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
so the lighting, inside, you're supposed to use like the soft lighting, which has like that
Yes,
yellow undertone. And
exactly.
so I was telling him, I said, no, I said, I need the studio light because I don't want it to be like a weird shade on camera. So he's like, you're putting me to work. I'm not even supposed to be working.
Oh my god. It was so funny. He's like, "The diva sent me here to set up." That
The
was
diva.
the cutest. I said, "I love it. I
That
love
is
it. I
so
really
funny.
do."
Yeah, he teases me with that a lot. If we're like at sound check or something, and he goes, "Oh, the diva decided to come to sound check today." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" And everyone's laughing.
Oh, but he is such an amazing creative himself. So
He is. Thank you.
it's got to be a riot because the both of you have such humor and such a warmth about yourselves. And so
Thank you. Thank you so
just
much.
it's so easy. And I didn't know you were coming to Starkville. You guys, look, I know you're out there. We're having a conversation. So just come on board, right? I didn't know you guys were coming to Starkville, Mississippi in June for Juneteenth.
Yes, in June. And I think this is our first time doing a show in Mississippi. And
I am
so
there.
you're right. I'm so excited for you to be there. And so yeah, so we were like, oh, this checks off like a new box of, where we've had shows before. And a lot of people are actually really excited, getting some contemporary jazz in Mississippi.
This is amazing. I had no idea, and I don't even know how we came up with the conversation. It just was in passing, and I'm
Uh-huh.
so glad he mentioned it because I promise you it is on my calendar, so I will be there
Awesome. Well,
live
we will
and
see you there.
yes, you will. Yes, you will. Well, I just wanna chat. I wanna know. I wanna be nosy and just know
Okay.
things, so I know that I do know that you guys are out in LA. How long have you lived in LA? All of your life?
Yeah, all of my life, I was born and raised here. And Los Angeles is so huge because a lot of people that aren't from here are just not familiar with it.
Sure.
There is a city named Los Angeles, but Los Angeles really is just like a county and huge. So a
Oh,
lot of people say Greater Los Angeles, or you could say North, South, East Los Angeles, West Los Angeles, the Valley. It's just a whole thing. So,
sure. Sure. Sure.
I've lived a lot of areas in LA. Adam, he's originally from Oregon, but he moved to Los Angeles to go to USC, University of Southern California. And
Sure.
so he met me here and stayed here.
So sweet. I love it.
I'm like, there's no reason for you to go back to Oregon.
You set the pace, my love. You set the pace.
Right. He tells everyone, I got me a California girl. But I don't think he would have gone back even if he had met me or not, because, he came here for music
Sure.
and this is where it's at.
It
So,
is. Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about music. What a nice segue. Let's
right.
talk about your early life in music, Kat.
Okay.
What do you remember as far as music is
Ooh.
concerned? Yeah.
What do I remember? Well, the
Yeah.
first thing that popped in my mind
Mhm.
is now, I don't know if this is a thing with like other ethnicities, but I know for myself and a lot of people that I know and family members in a Black household, a lot of the times Saturday is your cleaning day and you would put music on to
Yes,
clean
ma'am.
because it's like it helps you
Yes,
just get through what you don't really want to do, right?
I
So
know.
I just remember very little, like my mom or my dad playing Prince or playing Michael
Wow.
Jackson, and one of my favorite songs was Remember the Time. And I would be like, just play that one again. And just like the huge cupboard of like a stereo system with like the glass covering it and having
Yeah,
all the CDs, you know.
I remember
So
that.
that's like the first thing that popped in my mind, just earliest memory of music. And of course, church.
Mm,
Watch family members singing in church and then
sure.
eventually joining children's choir, youth choir, worship team. And I did a lot of choral music in elementary school all the way through college. And I did a lot of professional theater, just a lot of stage entertaining. So it's kind of just always been there in every form, professionally
Sure.
and in different aspects. I'm classically trained. So if
Wow.
people don't know what classically trained is, it's similar to operatic singing.
Sure.
Um, and then, of course, theater. Theater is also just another form that's been switched around and modernized of operatic singing. So, just very like strict to note for note and what's written.
Sure.
And and then church singing gospel or Christian music is completely different.
It
Yeah.
is. Yes, indeed. It definitely
Completely
is.
different. So I was able to get both, great areas of learning by ear and kind of just learning by going over something over and over and over again in church, and then learning in the professional setting and academia setting of learning how to read music and doing exactly what's there, not doing what you don't need to do because the song is perfectly fine with
Sure.
what you can do with this that you have.
Right.
I got, a lot of that and just kind of able to meld the two as I went on and started doing other things. So yeah, that's how I got started. And it's so funny because a lot of people say, I can't really pick out who you sound like. Your voice is so different. And I'm like, thank you.
I
I said,
think that
I have a little bit of everything.
yeah,
I have like the gospel and kind of modern Christian sound.
sure.
But I also have like that classical background too, where I have a heavy vibrato and which a lot of times I have to mask, like, certain songs that I'm singing, and
Exactly.
just like a different sound and different things that I do kind of weave through both of those genres. And so I think that's why a lot of people are like, huh, I can't pick out like who you sound like. I was like, well, I don't sound like anybody.
But doesn't that feel like a compliment because
It
now you're
does.
able to get outside of a box
Hmm.
and not allow somebody to put you in one, and that I think that's a great thing.
Thank
Um,
you. No, it
yeah,
is. And it took a really, really long time to accept that. I
sure.
think, too, just, when you're younger, as far as anything, being an actress or a vocalist or a dancer, you
Right.
want to emulate certain people
Of
that you
course.
see everywhere
Right.
or that you're inspired by. And for me, that was really hard to do because my voice was not like that. And so a lot of things that I would try to emulate, I didn't either know how to do it well,
Mm,
or I felt like I sounded, unauthentic
right,
trying to do
putting
it.
doing
And
it. Yeah.
and it's kind of
I
like a daunting thing because like, especially if you're just doing gigs at weddings or a club and you want to sound like that particular person that you're covering their song.
right.
And it kind of took me a long time to quote unquote find my voice, and be okay with sounding how I sound. and
Exactly.
um, and a lot of people tell me uh, that they like the covers that I do, and a lot of times they say that my rendition of the cover is better than the original, or that they enjoy it better.
I knew
Um,
it. Yeah.
People are appreciative of my enunciation, in singing, which a lot of that comes just from my mother speaks the same way that I do. And of course, doing a lot of professional theater, you have to over enunciate and just roundly pronounce your words, whether you're
Right.
speaking or singing, especially if you're in a huge room and there's no screens.
Ah,
And so, someone at the
yeah.
very, very back of the theater, they need to understand what you're saying or singing very clearly. And so, just I think it's kind of just my training in that sense that just is always with me.
Absolutely. What about Broadway for you? Ever ever want to do Broadway?
Yeah, of course. That actually was my first avenue that I wanted
No
to seek
way!
out. Yeah.
What?
So when I was in high school and college, that was what I was going to do. I was going to move to New York. I was going to be on Broadway. I was going to, either be because I also did a lot of competitive dance. So I'm also trained in ballet and tap and jazz and hip hop. And
Ah,
so I wanted to do that and do like the starving artist kind of thing. Um,
love it.
um, but things got set back, and it's the classic cliche thing of like,
Sure.
if you want to make God laugh, if you believe in that, then plan your own life,
Exactly. Exactly.
And so at the age of 17, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called rheumatoid arthritis.
I've
And
heard of
so
it. Yep.
rheumatoid arthritis, it is categorized as an autoimmune disease because it's internal. So it's
Mhm.
your immune system overworks itself. And so essentially it, tries to shut it down
Sure.
and it's weakened. And so the disease itself can attack different organs in your body, like your liver and your heart, but also it
Wow.
attacks your joints. So that's where the word, arthritis comes from. And
Ah,
so people would always say, "Oh, my grandma has arthritis," but it's not the same
not the
thing.
same thing,
Usually,
right?
when
Yeah.
people get arthritis, it's because of overuse of a certain thing or a strain on a certain thing. So people usually will have it in their wrists or their hands, and then
Right.
come to find out, they're
Right.
heavy cookers or they've worked with their hands for years. Some people
Right.
have it in their back, and that could just be from years of either heavy weight on their body or heavy
Wow.
lifting or whatnot. And so this is just internal because inside it's just doing its own thing.
It is. Wow. That's
so
amazing. I had no idea. I none. But you're maintaining
I
okay?
am maintaining.
Mhm.
So, I had a very near death experience when I was 17 at that time, doctors had no idea what was wrong with me. I was constantly going in for tests and checkups. And at that time, that was when West Nile had like first came out. So they thought that I had West Nile. They thought I had some kind of sexually transmitted disease. Granted, I was 17 years old. So I'm like,
Right.
no, I don't think that's that.
Mhm.
My
Wow.
mom and I would walk into doctor's offices and specialists, and they would literally say, I don't know. And so I was taking probably like 30 plus pills a day because they were
What?
just giving me something to treat each
Wow.
symptom that I had. So I would have temporary paralysis in just different areas of my body. So one day I would wake up and I wouldn't be able to move my neck, or the next day I would wake up and my shoulder is stuck this way. I would get bruises and rashes all over my body because internally it was inflamed.
Right.
And so that's when it like comes out through the skin. So my rheumatologist that I still have now to this day, he was the one that found out, what was wrong with me just by looking at me and studying my chart. And we're like, are you sure? Because we've been dealing with all these doctors,
Nobody knows.
and so yeah, so I was put on a very, very elite medication right away, which is why I don't have joint damage. A lot of the times people will have joint damage, but
Okay.
that's typically when they've been misdiagnosed, or things that they've been taking hasn't been like accurately treating what they have. And so
Sure.
that's when the joint damage comes. Like if you see people's hands, and their fingers are kind of crooked, or their
Right?
joints are
Uh,
very
mhm.
large, or same thing with their foot, like if they have a limp or it's kind of crooked, something like that. So I'm just very, very blessed that I was able to get on that medication
Yes.
that early. However, the past, I want to say maybe 7 years,
Mhm.
I've been on a holistic route.
Good.
And I only recommend that to someone who, if you're doing everything the correct way and if you actually know the difference. I just really wanted to try it. I was 7 years ago, I was in a car accident. I was rear-ended from behind
No
on the
way.
freeway. And so I injured my spine. I had multiple bulging disc. A disc was touching a nerve, and then my pelvis was disaligned. So it was incredibly horrific, just with the healing process, and it was awful. I did physical therapy probably for over a year. I did chiropractor for probably 4 to 5 months, like 2 to 3 times a week. And
Mm.
so I had to learn how to really do everything again, sit down properly, stand up properly, how to get out of the shower and dry myself off.
Mm-mm.
I literally was in pain, 24/7 all the time. And so, since I was having pressure on that nerve, I
Mhm.
would feel pain from my neck all the way to my hand, and my hand would go numb, and then all the way from my hip all the way to the bottom of my foot. So all of that trauma to my body, it really kind of made everything go haywire with my autoimmune disease. So I was on everything. I was on narcotics, I was on muscle relaxers, painkillers, and then everything for my autoimmune disease. And I gained like 60 pounds.
You
Um,
did not.
yes, I did.
Oh my god, you're such a tiny thing
I've
now.
always been very tiny and petite.
Yeah.
Um, but I haven't been able to get back down since. And so I just, maybe like after a year or so
Mhm.
of dealing with that, I wanted to just cleanse my body. I wanted to cleanse my soul
Sure.
because it just was such a traumatic and dark experience that I had went through. So one day I was like, you know what? I'm just not taking anything anymore. And this was, of course, after I felt like I didn't need to take,
Oh, sure.
medication every single day.
Sure.
Um, and I already take a fair amount of vitamins, but I started taking more and different ones. I started walking, and then I started working with a personal trainer just to get my body strength back up, for my
Sh
back.
sure.
And so yeah, so it's been like almost 7 years now. And I know a lot of people that actually have rheumatoid arthritis and it's kind of new to them, and they want to go the holistic route, but I'm like, they don't have it under control. And so I've been dealing with it since I was 17. So I said, I
Sure. Sure.
know exactly, what to do and how my body is responding. And so
What what about a book?
writing a book.
Yeah. Hello? You're doing
I don't
everything else.
know. You know, it's so funny because one of my girlfriends that has RA, and it's been probably like 4 or 5 years now
Mhm.
that she's had RA. And actually, she's had RA this whole time, but they misdiagnosed her thinking that it was lupus. So
Wow.
so it took a really long time for it to like regulate and trying different medications and stuff.
Sure.
And so I actually put together, a huge, like, kind of like food plan for her of,
See?
fruits and vegetables that would really help, and then things for inflammation and what not to do. And it really did help her. So I don't know, maybe.
Pray about it. Pray about it. Pray about it. That
Right.
you don't to look at a person, you can't tell. They always
No.
say never judge a book by its cover.
Hmm.
And to look at you, um, you're just this perfect picture of health, like nothing's ever touched you, nothing's ever happened.
Thank you.
The angelic voice I told you about, I mean, when you hear and you see from the outside, there's always the assumption, but only God,
Right.
you and God know,
Right.
exactly what's going on, and what an amazing testimony you
Thank
have.
you. Thank
It
you so
is,
much.
it's truly,
Thank
and
you.
that's why I said maybe a book of sort, something to, because you're not the only one. What you've gone through is a testament for somebody else, especially since you're coming out of it
Hmm.
and you're learning to maintain and come through it so beautifully. I gotta take a quick break though.
Okay.
We've got 2 in India, and it's almost 8. Oh my god, I cannot believe I can't believe it's gone, and the comments and everything is just they're popping up. But this is such rich, rich, rich conversation, and I love it,
Thank
and I
you.
appreciate
Thank you.
you being so transparent,
Uh-huh.
and sharing with us. But hang out for just a moment with us. We're gonna transition to a quick break. You guys, thank you for coming in and visiting our special guest, learning so much about her and her being so transparent with some things that have happened with her. This is what I do this show for. It's more than music, it's ministry for me. So listen, hang out. We're going to come right back with more music in just a moment. Music and conversation in just a moment.
The Platinum Agencies is taking the indie brand to the next level with customized strategies that includes interviews on unsigned artistryville worldwide and promotional campaigns on social media. Listen to what these artists have to say about us. Daryl Anders of Agape Soul says Sabrina Taylor has created a brilliant platform to showcase unsigned and independent artists. She's been a great resource for increasing awareness and helping me to build my brand. International guitarist Gary Purcell says Unsigned Artistryville Worldwide offers a platform for unsigned artists to showcase and put themselves in a position where people can have an opportunity to learn about the artist in an up-close and personal setting. Sabrina Taylor does a great job making you feel comfortable and can really present the artist well to the audience. And it does not hurt that she has a smooth voice. The Platinum Agencies, better known as TPA, brand ambassador for indie artists on social media. Connect with the Platinum Agencies at gmail.com.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. If you're just joining us, I have an amazing creative and indie artist. She's with us on tonight. Kat Hawley is with us, and she is actually here to share her journey, her story. And that's what I want, is to have more of a storyline than just, hey, I got something new coming out. Go out and download it. I mean, and that's great because that's what I'm here for, is to support. I'm an ambassador for the indie artist, but
I want to share because beyond the stage, there's so much more to the artist than just their music. They have a life, they have family, they have issues just like everybody else in the world. And so, as I said prior to the break, this is more than music, it's ministry first and then music. And speaking of ministry, being Christian, how do you feel like that plays a role with your journey through music, Kat?
My journey through music.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely would say it's just like a love. And obviously growing up in church and singing, I've learned that it's definitely a gift because not
Yes.
everyone has it. And I
Yep.
know a lot of people that love music and they love singing, but they just don't have a singing voice. And they're like, oh my gosh, you don't know how blessed you are. And that really, touches me because I'm just like, I don't know what I would do if I couldn't sing. I would be so sad. And even I've gone through that. I've gone through when I had COVID for the first time
Mhm.
in 2021, it really affected my lungs. And even my speaking voice was not the same for weeks. And singing, I felt like I didn't sound like myself. It was like an out of body experience. And I just was like, oh my goodness, what if this stupid virus took away my voice? And I was just so scared because it's just, you don't know what it's going to do to your body. And
You don't.
that's what it did to mine for over a month. And I was crying. I was like, please let me get my voice back.
But you have such an angelic voice, and I did mention that off
Thank you.
camera, that you have such a beautiful, angelic soprano voice.
Thank you so
And when I hear the music, there's just such a sweetness,
Thank you.
about that. Let's talk about the music. You write as well, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
What inspires Kat to write?
What inspires me to write? Well, I haven't learned from my own mistakes yet because sometimes I'll be sitting in the car,
Yep,
I'll be just driving,
yep.
or I'm just doing something and I'm singing something that's like really, really good. And I'm like, oh, I'll remember it. And I don't.
Oh, get your voice recorder.
I know. And like it's so annoying. I do get my voice recorder sometimes.
Yeah.
And then the stuff that I listen back and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is complete trash. You know?
Oh, no.
And so the inspiration just can like pop out of anywhere. If I'm in the studio with my husband and we're actually having, a powwow or like a session,
Sure, sure.
it just kind of flows. So a lot of the times I'm listening to music that he's already created. Um, and I'm just writing something with what I hear.
Mhm.
And so with that, what I'm thinking of, it could be anything. I just finished a song a few days ago that the lyrics I was writing about my son. And so that will be on the new album. And so all last week, Adam and I were in the studio finishing up music for my album. And so actually tomorrow, and I have like a heavy recording day. So
So, I
um,
we were just kind of talking a little bit about, in between um, you're being classically trained and people saying, "Well, I can't really pin who you sound like," but
mhm.
the music that's there now, who do you enjoy? Who are some of your influences in music?
Oh my goodness. Well, it kind of goes all over the place.
Okay, all over
um,
side.
because I love, love, love Lenny Kravitz and
Oh,
I love Demi Lovato. I love Adele. She is mother of
I
all
know you
things. Oh my
do.
goodness. And we just saw her in Vegas on Friday
Yep.
night at her residency and it was just a dream. But
Oh,
I love her. And I love the vocalist her. I love Chris Brown. So
indeed.
these are like a lot of like newer artists. I think if I were to think of just like our classic
Sure.
artists that we know, of
Mhm.
course Stevie Wonder. Of course,
Ah,
I love Bette Midler. I love her so much. So there's like a little of my Broadway there.
that's okay.
Um,
Good.
Whitney Houston. Now, I do love Mariah Carey. I love Mariah Carey because a lot of people don't know this and she doesn't get enough credit. She writes a lot of her own songs and she produces a lot of her own songs. And
I've
so
learned.
people just kind of look at her, like she's just
A
a
singer.
Barbie figure,
Mm-hmm.
just
Yep.
like there.
Right.
And no, but she's like behind a lot of her brand. And so that's what I really love about her too. Um, I'm trying to think who else. There's so many. Did I already say Whitney? I did say Whitney.
You
I
did,
love
but that's
Celine
cool.
Dion.
That's
Celine
cool.
Dion is amazing. And I'm so sad about her recent medical endeavor that's like she's been diagnosed with. I think it's like paralyzation or
It's a
paralysis in
lot going
her
on with her.
face.
Yeah,
Um,
physically.
but
Yeah.
I mean, there's just like no other voices like all the people that I named.
I
And
know.
so it's
Absolutely. Absolutely.
like
What do you think about, and I don't even know why I'm going to ask you this, as a singer, Streisand?
Barbara Streisand. I like her acting more than I like her singing. Although I know that she is a legend in her own right.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
but the songs that she did sing, it's just great songwriting,
Right.
Um, it's nice. It's nice, but I wouldn't say that like I'm
You don't
inspired.
care for her very much. Ah,
No,
I just have
I
always
mean,
loved Streisand. I don't, there's such a, like an elegance about her on
no, yeah, it
stage.
is. It is,
Mhm.
yes, it is elegant.
And she carries it so well, even though she's not, I'll say it this way, she's not like my top pick,
Hmm.
but the way she carries her tone and
Right.
her presence and performance on stage,
Right.
it's just immaculate.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say she
Ah,
is a performer. There's a
yes,
lot of the times where, vocalists may not be like out of the park,
true.
where it's like, oh my gosh, their voice is amazing. But if you have the whole package, like
Yeah,
if you have the stage presence and you can entertain, you have the
exactly.
confidence, you have the technical, aspect behind it, because that's also
Sure,
important. And then
sure.
too, just I think I love a lot of these like legendary artists, like you said, Streisand and then Celine Dion, Whitney.
Yep.
It's because nowadays, and which I really pride myself on, nowadays, like a lot of times people don't give us that, I guess, elegance and kind of excitement to the stage with wardrobe and just how they carry themselves. Like
Right.
for me, I'm gonna come on stage like dressed, okay? Like
Exactly. Exactly.
because like I just come from that world, especially with theater. Like the stage is like you just respect the stage, you respect the art form that it
Sure.
is,
Sure.
and just like if you're at church, you come with your best. And so and now I know like it just depends on where you are, what type of music you're performing. I mean, you can go on stage with like t-shirt and, jeans, but I mean like you'll never see me doing that. But because
Nope.
I just
I
love like that elegance of, just coming on stage and just like showing up and showing out.
right. What about Lady Gaga? My last one, Lady Gaga.
I do like Lady Gaga. When
Mhm.
she first came out, I was like, who is this? And it was like everything else that distracted you from the voice, because
Sure.
even her like early pop music, even though it's
Right.
like may not be a lot of people's cup of tea, like the vocals are there. And same
Right.
thing, she writes her own music. She does a lot of her own producing. She plays multiple
Exactly.
instruments.
Mhm.
And so, but that was just her way. And a lot of the times when you see people that do a lot of the crazy hair and makeup, like they're actually very shy. And so when they do that, that's kind of like their alter ego. And but for
Yeah.
us, it's jarring because you're just like, whoa. But then now, she took the turn of doing a lot of jazz after she did the music with the, or excuse me, the movie with Bradley
Yep.
Cooper.
Yep.
And it's just like, and then people are like, why was she doing that before? Because she has a great voice.
She does.
And it's
Yeah.
just strong, and she has like a strong presence.
She
And
does.
she's super like raw and authentic. So I do like Lady Gaga.
I think it's just all in the promotion of the artist. I think it's,
Mhm.
as you say, I mean, there's always some underlying effect that we may never know, but all in all, the voice is the thing that I listen to more than the visual,
Mhm.
because the visual thing does pull people in,
Right.
and when you're trying to brand yourself or become aware, the weirdest things seemingly catch attention. more than a voice. And that's the Lady Gaga thing,
Mhm.
all of that
Mhm.
stuff on her eyes and her different costumes caught
Right.
the attention. But her voice was just really amazing. And when she sits at the piano and she sings, she's
Yeah.
got my undivided attention. You don't
Right.
need all of that. But
You
in this
don't.
world, you got to do something to stand out.
I know.
Yeah. And so speaking of standing out, the first release that you did, Keep On Keeping On,
Mhm.
was that your inspiration as far as writing?
Keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Was that title? What was that
Yeah,
my
the
inspiration?
song itself, yeah, the inspiration behind it.
No, not really.
Not really.
The more that I started writing the lyrics, it was, but at first it was Adam had the concept for the hook. And he said, I'm hearing something either like keep on for our love or keep on keeping on or keep on
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
And he already had, some instrumental music, and he's like, what do you think about this? And I said, well, I think I can work with it. And that's how, the hook, which is the chorus, that came to fruition first, and then the verse and the second verse kind of came. But just from those, I guess in your question, just from those words, I started writing around that. But the initial inspiration that was came from Adam's mind
All right,
of what he was hearing.
Adam.
And so I kind of just, took that and ran with it.
Wow, and it was an amazing song as well.
Thank you.
So you have a new release out, and not to forget to Steve Cole was a sax
Yes.
man on that.
Right? Right? Oh my goodness.
Ah!
I love his playing so much.
I do too. I do too. It stands out.
It really
Among
does.
sax players. I mean, we've got some excellent sax players, don't get me wrong,
Hmm.
but that caught my ear.
I know.
I was scrolling. I heard the first single before I heard the recent single, and that's when I reached out to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Steve is amazing. Just like you said, he stands out in all
Mhm.
the saxes, that we hear.
Right.
And he's just like the nicest guy too. And that kind of like makes it even better.
Right, right. So how do you guys decide, or is this an Adam thing? How do you decide which accompanying instruments to use along with your voice?
It's definitely an Adam thing because
Uh-huh.
it's usually the producer's ear or what they
Sure.
think will work with the song. So a lot
Right.
of the times he'll say, I'm hearing
Right.
a sax on this, or I'm
Yep.
hearing piano on this. And
Right.
then, of course, he knows the sound of the different instrumentalists or artists that would sound great on it. Just because, just like vocalists, instrumentalists, they have different sounds and textures, that they're known for. So he definitely will say, oh, I'm hearing so and so on this. I'm hearing so and so on this. And I'm
Right.
like, okay, you know,
Whatever you say.
like whatever you say. And sometimes I'm like, are you sure? Like there's one song that we're writing, and I think that he should play, nylon string guitar on it. And he's like, no, I think I want to get someone else. I'm like, no, you should do it. Cause I already like how the demo sounds. So
Right?
we'll see what the end result is for that one.
So when are you guys slating to release? Is it an EP or an LP?
No, it's going to be a full album,
Yep,
and we're looking
LP.
to
Okay.
release in June.
Got it.
So I've been working a lot on it.
I'm sure. I'm I'm sure. So are you guys doing the 50-50 split in writing on the LP as well?
um, well, he does a lot of the instrumental writing, and
Sure.
then I do all of the
The
lyrics.
lyrics,
And
exactly. Yeah,
so it's 50-50 like within the whole song,
sure.
but lyrics are like 100% me unless he, just like keep on keeping on comes up with like a hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
Um,
listen, now here's where I'm gonna, insert the Cardi B of Snoop.
so
They
all the
have
people
no
that are
clue what we're
watching, all
let
the people that are watching that has been viewers of AH Live all through our shutdown and pandemic,
Yeah.
they already know about the Cardi B of smooth jazz,
Cardi
which is
B of
myself.
smooth.
It's-
I love it. Oh my God. It's
Okay, you said you were
amazing.
going to bring that in. Why? Why did you bring that in?
It was just I've heard, now that I've sat and I've talked with you, I kind of get it. It's sweet. It's sweet. I get that. In love, Kat.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's in love. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
I'm going to take our last break. It's a little later than normal, but I love a conversation. See, I
Yeah.
told you, it's always authentic, and when it flows, I just let it go.
Right.
It's important, but we're gonna take that last break of the night, and people are laughing. It's just laughter. You see it
Right. Wait, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look at the
after it's over. Go through and take a look at everything.
right.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Kat, Colleen says, your husband knows.
He
And
does.
so it's so funny. So funny. I love it. It's just a pleasure already just talking with you. So
Thank
let's
you.
take the last break of the night and we'll come back.
Okay.
We'll get into the last segment and the music premiere of Never Too Busy. Okay. Hang out.
Awesome.
And you guys don't go away. We'll be back in just a few minutes with our special guest. Hope you're enjoying the show.
The Platinum Agencies is taking the indie brand to the next level with customized strategies that include interviews on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide, as well as campaigns on social media. Listen to what these artists have to say about us. Soul R&B artist Selena Albright says, "I believe in the Platinum Agencies and the amazing things it will continue to do for independent artists in the future." Not only does Sabrina Taylor have an ear for the best-kept secrets in the music industry, but in a market where independently made music tends to be greatly overshadowed, her platform offers a unique opportunity for all artists to be heard. Some of my favorite interviews of my career have been with Sabrina Taylor. She really knows how to ask the right questions to capture the hidden story behind the music that fans want to hear. And I've always been so moved by her ability to pair her original imagery to my music whenever I visit her platform. Soul jazz artist Cherie Patrice says, UAR is a great platform and source for indie artists to promote, expound, and extend their brand. You can always count on UAR to capture the essence, the heart, and the soul of an indie artist within its presentation. I always feel welcomed, celebrated, and in good hands with its CEO and founder, Sabrina Taylor, who puts her grand touch of elegance and excellence on every artist she comes in contact with. I highly endorse the UAR worldwide experience. Connect with the Platinum Agencies at tpatheplatinum.agencies.com.
Well, everybody, thank you for sticking around. We've got the music premiere, which is always here or there, 10 after, quarter after the last part of the hour. And definitely so glad that you are sharing and the comments are coming in. Still, I haven't put them all out there. And Kat, you definitely got to go back and check out
I
what
I
everybody
will.
has to say. This has been a great, great conversation. I've loved it from the moment you
So
popped
have
in.
I.
What
Thank
they
you.
didn't hear back of house, just everything, just
The Cardi B moments. I was like,
the whole moment, just the whole moment with you. It's been really great.
thank you.
I want to ask you about Never Too Busy.
Okay.
So, what's the inspiration behind that track?
Never too busy. Well, the inspiration is I was thinking about my husband And just because we're so busy, we
Yep.
travel constantly. We're constantly around people. And even though we're constantly doing things, we go to dinner, we go to lunch with people, or we're in airports and we're in different cities, a lot of the times um, it's work related. And so we're always on, and we don't really do anything together that's just for leisure.
Sure.
And then I also think about my son, because not only is our schedule very busy, he is a freshman in high school,
Wow.
and he plays elite basketball. He's on his high school team, but then also AAU, which is like travel ball. So it's constant of checking the calendar, writing things down. And so it's kind of like a modernized world that we all have fallen into in today's age of just always on the go, having so
Right.
much to do. And so my feeling was, we can never be too busy for each other's love. And that really can be for like a friendship or romantic relationship with your family. And it's just like you have to be able to take that little bit of time for whoever it is in your life, no matter how busy you are, whether it just be like FaceTiming or actually getting together and watching a movie, ordering
Right.
pizza, or like going out and doing something. And so for us, a lot of the times it can't really be too big, because we really do enjoy just being in our house and doing nothing, just because we're always on the go. And
Right.
so for us, sometimes it's something as simple as just like ordering tie-in and
Mm.
watching a movie, or actually catching up on a show that we can't ever finish because we're getting
Too
like 2 or
busy.
3 hours of sleep in a hotel room on the road. So
Yeah.
it's like however you could fit that time in, it's like you can never
Sure.
be too busy for love. So
Right.
that's where the inspiration came from.
Well, I want everybody to enjoy the premiere. It is such a beautiful song.
Thank you.
Trump. Who's the trumpeter?
The trumpeter is Michael Stever, and he's fantastic.
He's
um,
amazing.
yes, he is. So he and Adam toured with Brian Culbertson together.
Hmm.
And he also teaches at USC, which is Adam's alum. So even after touring with Brian Culbertson, they've still kept in touch and still are friends. And Stever, we call him Stever. He still plays on a lot of Adam's clients' records. So he'll say, "Oh, I want you to put some horns on this," and he's just phenomenal, just
He
really
is.
really great.
Yeah. That. I mean. That. Speechless. It
Yeah,
really takes your breath away.
right.
This is such a sultry piece,
Hmm.
especially the intro.
Right.
I'm a bass nut and a muted trumpet nut.
And
Okay,
you the trumpet.
I love both of them. Okay, throughout anything. Um, One of my favorite songs is "Ready or Not" by After Seven.
Oh, okay.
It's because of the bass line that's in the song.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So anything that has a really thick rhythmic rhythm, I, I'm gone. I'm done. I'm over. It's out. I don't know what it is.
And
I need to
it's
ask my
so
mom.
interesting that you say that, because there's a great bassist. His name's Mel Brown.
Hmm.
He does a lot of Adam's records when he's like producing for other artists, but
Yeah.
he's like been bassist to like the stars for years. He's
Okay.
great. Um, and he told Adam, when Adam sent him the track, he was like, "This is like amazing." He's like, "I love this groove." And another bass player said the same thing, like, "Oh, this is a vibe."
Yeah.
And the fact that fell in love with like the
Yep.
bass sound, it's
Yep.
so interesting.
See, see, I listen for the bass. I'm just gonna let you guys know that's me. That's me. Well, I want everybody to enjoy emojis. Everybody, put your
Emojis.
comments in. Share with us what you feel about the song. We'll come back. We'll take a look at some of the comments. But our special guest tonight is singer, songwriter, writer Kat Hawley. She's here, and We're going to bring the song up. You guys don't go away. It's coming right now. You don't want to miss any part of it, okay? All right. Enjoy. I'll be back in just a second. Hey, everybody, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the single Never Too Busy. So beautiful, just
Thank you.
lush, just amazingly beautiful. I loved it.
Thank you so
I
much. And
truly.
the pictures that you had going, that was like so perfect.
Well, it was just for Unsigned Artist Reveal, just for just for the platform. Uh,
Right.
yeah, I just wanted to bring in something to go along rather than a still shot,
Mhm.
for the entirety of the music, and so I said, well, let's just bring love into it, which is what it's about, which is what
Thank
it's about.
you.
You've got lots and lots of comments, young lady, to go in and take a
Thank
look at.
you.
Yeah, you do. You really do. It's like, Kat knows she's singing. I'm a couple. I'll bring in a couple so you can see it.
Okay.
Silky intro. It is a silky intro, captivating
Thank
vocal, soulful
you.
trumpeter. I'm telling you, it's an amazing song.
Thank
You
you
guys
so
did
much.
that.
I appreciate that so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Go Adam. He did the doggone thing.
Thank
So
you.
amazing. So what's it doing at radio? Are you what's your expectation, or is there one, or how are you guys responding to the responses from radio on that?
Well, I don't think that I have a super high expectation.
Mhm.
Everyone is very different. Like a lot of
Yes.
people want to chart on Billboard or even just the jazz chart. Some people
Yep.
want it like crazy rotation on watercolors. For me, I just really want to make great music and
Aw.
to get my vocals out there and my name out there. Um, you know, before Adam started his solo career and I started touring with him, no one knew that I even, was a vocalist or professional vocalist at many times in my life.
Wow.
And then, when Adam would tell people, like, oh, I have my wife singing in my show, and people have told me this to my face, they're like, oh, that's cute. You know,
What? Okay.
But then, when they see the show and I sing and they're like, oh, she's like for real.
For real, for real. Exactly. We
So
not playing up here.
right. So I really do enjoy if you will, just kind of, showing what I can do
Mhm.
and like, putting my stamp in the genre and holding my own.
Sure.
And so I think that's just like for me, like I just want to make great music and just have, my music heard. And it's doing really, really great at radio. It has like a ton of more spins than Keep On Keeping On, and it's moving faster up the charts than Keep On Keeping On. I think Keep On Keeping On peaked at number 38 on the smooth jazz charts, like in its like third or fourth month, and then
Wow.
Never Too Busy is already at 42, and it's been slightly over a month, so it's really growing quicker.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what are you doing to promote it? Are you touring and singing? So you're going with your husband, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm a featured vocalist in all of his shows. And so he's nice enough to let me sing my own single, in his set. He gives up a
Thank
song
you,
for me.
Adam.
Thank you, Dr. Hawley. So,
Yes,
so,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
So on tour, all of the shows, I'm singing my single, and then of course one of the songs that I'm always featured on his album, and then of course like a lot of background vocals, and then he has an old school medley in his show. So I'm usually singing those old school medley songs. So more like where the party gets started for a lot of vocal tunes, and so it's been great. And every time we're at the merch table,
Mhm.
people are like, okay, where's your CD? And for years, I'm like, oh, I don't have one yet.
Ugh.
I said, but I'm on Adams. And
Um,
so and Adam, he teases me all the time. He's like, wait until you get your albums out. He's like, you're gonna be outselling units more than me because people have been waiting so long. And
yes.
I'm like, it's coming, it's coming.
Yeah,
We've been, talking about making an album and even like brainstormed and started the first initial kind of like gathering of doing an album in 2019, pre-COVID. So it's been a long time coming, but everything happens in its own time and in its right time. And I'm
sure.
definitely glad that right now is the time that we're doing it, because I think the music would be completely different.
It
And
would.
it took a long time for us to really figure out my brand and really like what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. So I'm so glad that it's happening now, in this space, and really excited for everyone to hear the music on the new album.
I'm excited for them too, and it's not
Thank
even my
you.
music. It's so amazing. I mean,
Thank
for
you
real,
so
it
much.
really, really is. So you're touring, you've got your own music out. You've got a CD that's coming out.
Hmm.
When's the next performance for you guys?
Next performance for us, we actually leave on Wednesday
Okay.
because we have a show at South Jazz Kitchen in
Yes.
Philadelphia.
Yep.
So we have that, the two shows on Thursday nights. Then we're off to Birmingham, Alabama, where we're performing at the Perfect Note. And then the following night, we're in Atlanta, also playing the Perfect Note because they have two locations. So it's like the same owner, same club, but one's in Birmingham
Sure.
and
Yeah.
Atlanta is the newest one. I think maybe not even 2 years old,
Oh,
maybe
wow.
2 years
New.
old.
It's really
Yeah,
new.
it's
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
And then we come home Sunday and then we do spaghettini Sunday night.
Ah, what a
Yeah.
nice way to
So
spend a Sunday night.
I know, right? So we're
Yeah,
excited. Spaghettini's our
absolutely.
home. Spaghettini is the home to a lot of
Of
contemporary jazz artists,
tons.
especially
Yeah.
here in SoCal. And then we have pretty much like the rest of the month of March, we're
Mhm.
like on break, which is amazing
Yay!
because it's the calm before the storm. Because in
Yes, it
April, it's just nonstop all the way through like July. So,
well, that's good. That's good. You gotta take advantage of that. You really
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Yeah. So I always ask this because it kind of, intrigues me to hear what each artist has to say. What do you wanna leave listeners with when they hear your music, Kat?
Ooh, I want to leave my listeners with wanting more.
Ooh,
Um,
I love that one.
definitely with wanting more. I don't want them saying, "Oh, that was nice." I want to say that was
Exactly.
fantastic. Why don't we have another song on the record?
I know,
Um,
right?
and
Uh,
I tell Adam that too with a lot of his songs. There's this one particular song, and it's titled 1 a.m.
mm,
And it's so short. I mean, hindsight, it's not. I think it's like almost 4 minutes, but it's so good and it's like hypnotic and it's sexy. And like you think
okay.
of 1 a.m., you know? And I'm just like, why did you make it so short? Like it should be like 8 minutes long. And he's like, no, this is exactly what I want. You know, you want more of the song. And so he'll do that with a lot of my vocals in production.
Oh,
Um,
got that.
if you hear Keep On Keeping On and then now into Never Too Busy, you hear a lot of my vocals still playing, but being faded out because
Yes,
you just don't want the song to stop and you're just like done with it. It's like you want to like entice people to like keep listening and wanting more
sure.
of it.
Yeah,
So that's definitely what I want to leave them with and just kind of leave them with the feeling of something that's kind of like euphoric and
mhm,
mesmerizing and transcendent, just kind of wrapped in the music.
right.
And so that's basically what I want and just wanting you to hear more and listen to more.
And I want them to hear more. I cannot wait until the CD comes out because
Thank
I'm sure there's
you.
a journey that we will go on.
Yes, there's a lot of different things, a lot
Mhm,
of different um, aspects, a lot of different sounds.
sure.
So hopefully people will like it. I like it. So
I wanna ask this last question off the
mhm.
record. Well, on the record, off the record, just a question. Do you duet? Who would you like to do a duet with?
Ooh, is this someone like that we know, like in the genre, or just like anybody?
Anybody you can think of that you've
Oh my
always
goodness.
said, "Oh my god, I would love to sing with him or her." You
Well, there's more than one. Can I list more than one?
sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
um, definitely Brian McKnight.
Oh, how did I know that? Oh my god.
Definitely Brian McKnight because I have loved his voice ever since I was like in junior high.
Mhm.
And he just has like great movement. He has great range. He's a wonderful songwriter.
Love him.
Um, I would just love to sing with him. I mean, I feel like he would sing circles around me just because I'm not the type of singer that is going to be doing like all these runs and stuff like that, which some people really like, some people really don't. That doesn't fit my voice. And so I don't do a lot of that.
I
But I
think
think it
he'd
would
be
be interesting.
professional enough and courteous enough in that he would meet you where you are. I think he would
Yeah.
accompany you. Do you know what I mean? And
Yes.
I don't think it would be a competition. I think it would be a sweet connection
That's
vocally.
very true.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's
so.
very true.
Mhm.
So definitely him.
Okay.
Um, I think to touch on my musical theater love and background,
Okay.
definitely Idina Menzel or Bette Midler. If you're unfamiliar with Idina Menzel, she was the original Alphaba in the stage play Wicked, which is the Wicked Witch. And you would know her from the voice of Elsa in the movie Frozen, the Disney.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Gotcha.
So she is just a powerhouse. And she actually used to be married to Taye Diggs, and they have their son together.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yes.
Wow.
She is, I mean, the song Let It Go from the Disney movie Frozen, that's
Yeah.
her. But
Yeah.
she has years and years of, theater behind her. And her voice is just amazing. It's so amazing.
That's
So
amazing. I didn't know who you were going to say, but
really.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely her. Of course, Adele. Oh my God, let me get my look. This is my mug from Weekends with Adele. Because if you guys
Can
are
you
just
tell she
listening,
loves Adele, everybody?
Adam and I saw Adele in concert at her residency in Vegas. Vegas from where we are is like 3 hours and some change. So
Oh,
we went to see Adele. Look at my mug.
she did that. And, oh,
She was
wow.
amazing. So
I'm
definitely
sure.
Adele. Oh my goodness. And I love this vocal group. They're country, and they're named Dan and Shay, and they're like a country duo. But their music is fantastic, and they both have wonderful voices. I'm also a fan of country, not so much now, but I was previously, like years ago, just because there's no country singer that cannot sing. I feel like in country
Yeah,
music, like the talent comes first. Obviously, you have to have a look and
of
something, just
course.
like
Of
with
course.
R&B or pop, but every country singer can sing. They can harmonize, they can belt, they can hold their
Yes.
notes, and the lyrics are just fantastic in
Off the
country music.
chain. Yeah.
So Dan and Shay, I also love Rascal Flatts. Um, they're kind of, I want to say maybe like through the late 90s and early 2000s, like super big in the
Hmm.
country scene, but they have wonderful, beautiful voices too. So yeah, it's kind of like a mix of all over. And then of course, if Whitney was still alive, I need to sing a song
Uh,
because
you
she's
know,
just
I have one person for you.
okay,
And then I'm going to wrap it up. I promise you guys, I love talking to Kat. I mean, we could do this like for 2 or 3 hours. They
right?
said, "Oh no, you're not. We're just kidding." I would love, and I know this is lofty, but I'd love to hear you and Babyface do a
Oh,
duet.
really?
Yes.
Hmm.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Babyface,
Okay.
don't sleep on him
I
because
mean, no,
he d- d-
I
he could,
definitely do not sleep on Babyface. I actually saw Babyface in a Starbucks,
oh
like
my, oh,
maybe I want to say like 3 years ago, maybe 4. It was
mhm.
pre-pandemic, I think. So that was longer than 4 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so funny because I was just telling someone the other day, don't sleep on Babyface because he's still producing and writing music for so many people.
Yeah.
And they're like, really? I'm like, girl, yes. What are you talking about?
See, somebody said, "Yes, Babyface."
Right.
I'm t
Oh, that's
that
my mom. Zoe's
well,
in her
still
comments. Oh my God.
still, Colleen, she says, "Sabrina Taylor, I agree with you."
Oh,
See,
okay.
it's look, I have put it in the atmosphere.
Yes, put it in the
Now
atmosphere.
come on, come, Babyface.
Right.
If you see this, and you never know because 'cause we're worldwide, I've got a trumpeter coming from Bali.
Oh, nice.
In about 2 or 3 weeks. I have someone coming from Brisbane. So we are just
Wonderful. Yeah,
everywhere.
I
So
love that.
Babyface, you will see this.
Yes, Babyface.
And I want you to do a duet
Sing with
with
me.
my
I
new
think our
friend
voices
Kat.
are kind of similar, just like very soft and smooth. So
Exactly.
that could be very nice.
See? Adam, get it together. Come
Right?
on.
Come on, Adam.
I love it. It's this has really been, for me, like one of my greatest shows, and it's
Thank
just been such a
you.
pleasure, and you were so gracious to come on and
Oh,
sit and
thank you so
chat and
much.
share and
Yeah.
allow us into some of the private parts of your life. Thank you so much for that.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This has been a blast. And I see a lot of people in the chat that were faithful viewers of AH Live when we did it for 3 years while
Yeah.
we were in our pandemic stages. And so it's so nice to like see them popping in and chatting.
Wow. Thank you guys. We do really appreciate you. Well, listen, we're going to wrap up next week. It's another great artist. I've got some great stuff for you guys in March. You're not, don't miss a segment. You're not going to want to miss what's coming up. I have a surprise so big, Kat. I just wanted to puke it out, but I can't. But I can. I'm gonna hold it in,
I
hold it all in, and
can't.
surprise you guys with promotions. But look, everybody, thank you so much for supporting the platform. Without you, this could not be. So again, thanks. Remember, what you make happen for others, God will make it happen for you. Cat Hangout, don't go anywhere. We'll be
All
right
right.
up next week. We'll see you again, same time, same place. All right, bye.